as a result, some of the elite characters sort of, unfortunately, don't get to retain the design of their facial features or whatnot from game to game. The most notorious character of which is the Arbiter, his face is changed every single game. But considering it's his armor and voice that makes him identifiable, I guess that doesn't matter as much. As you can see here, we are incredibly high up, and we're sort of on this overhanging mountain cliff type thing. Concept art shows that we were supposed to the level designers might have had us, on a sort of a lower level, sort of walking underneath these overhanging mountains. Here's the first Here's the first zealot of a game. The zealots in Julam Dama's Covenant serve sort of a dual role. They have the administrative functions of the prophets from the Old Covenant. But as we can see here, they're not going to sort of sit behind desks and make decisions there. They're still going to come into combat. Zealots would have contact with Julam Dama directly, given their leadership role in his covenant.
We're going to have to find where they're landing first.
I don't suppose you have a plan for that.
We could always ask nicely.
Asking's not my strong suit.
Jeez. The zealot we just killed, he doesn't have a name or backstory yet, but, based on his proximity to this area and where he was coming from, you can sort of infer that he and this zealot up here were working together in some capacity. Securing the tower and the surrounding area, as Cortana says. Jackal's heavily altered look from the previous Halo games is not due to the fact they're a subspecies. They are genetically identical to the Jackals of the previous games. The difference, or the reason why their faces look so different, is because they hail from an isolated island continent on Ian, their Jackal homeworld, called Ibiish. And because they were isolated, their genetic phenotypes never really varied that much. They sort of stayed within their population group, allowing you to sort of see what ancestors of their species sort of, look like. You can see that they're on the more reptilian side, in terms of early evolution of the KGR. The Jackals from Halo 1, 2, and 3 typically come from a large landmass on Ian called Root, or something to that effect. It's oddly spelled R-H-U-U-T. And then the Skirmishers are actually a subspecies. They come from an orbiting asteroid around their homeworld. It's actually larger than their homeworld itself. Oh, jeez. Well, it's called but the asteroid is called Tavau. And again, like the elites, as I mentioned earlier, the jackals wouldn't be specifically defined to one area. They would have, you know, it would look like this and anything in between their previous iterations.
That elite dropped his camo module. Let's have a look. I'll run a soft patch to it from the suit. Never know what might come in handy.
And then the grunts, obviously. Many people noted that they were, Bungie originally intended for them to be sort of arthropods, you know, sort of crabby, with their, you know, quote-unquote exoskeletons. This isn't the case. In Halo 1 and Halo 2 Classic, you can see that they were originally intended to be have like thick alligator-like skin. Then that was suddenly changed in Halo 3 and was continued with the franchise up until Halo 4. And it's going back to that in Halo 5.
I wondered when they'd show up.
There are extreme, though, visual differences between, you know, the games is sort of due to the fact their species is sort of they have somewhat of an anomaly in terms of their outward appearance, that even the Forerunners had trouble understanding. Obviously, a little bit back we had our first encounter with Sentinels. I'll talk about them in a bit, but for now, here we have the Eld, the Forerunner. Not really Forerunner, it actually dates back to perhaps before the Forerunners, but it represents the mantle of responsibility. Markings on the Eld itself are Forerunner in nature. They're sort of, you know, different from what we're used to in terms of Forerunner script. You know, they have the, you know, sort of hieroglyphic symbols. But the Forerunners had many languages.
What does it say?
Guardianship for all living things lies with those whose evolution is most complete. The mantle of responsibility shelters all. Very interesting.
Maybe, but it won't get us home.
This script here is heavily implied to be Digon or Deegan. It's D-I-G-O-N. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. Which is the language of the warrior servants. During the Bungie Halo games, the Sentinels were always, you know, put into the game in combat roles. However, this isn't actually their primary function. They're meant to service and help and assist and monitor the installations they're stationed at.
What the Covenant are so interested in.
And it's really nice to see the Sentinels in
But
Halo 4 sort of be in a role that accurately depicts the way they would act in the
I'll
lore.
put them up for you. Hopefully we can find some way to get this cartographer back online.
What's it doing?
It's all right. This energy is actually a ferroelectric data field. Your shields are just cycling in response.
A lot of
to the
Cortana's
chamber's
sort of like
charge.
designations of Forerunner technology
cartographer
sort of sounds like technobabble,
Partially.
but I actually
This
took the
type of
opportunity
processing
to
system
do some
usually works
research
in parallel.
on the names
have
of
to
some of the
locate its
things she
tomb.
assigns the technology. They're not really made up terms, they actually do have some basis in science. Yes, I redid the game. I reviewed my footage and I noticed that I was doing lots of pauses and saying lots of ums. And that I didn't like that because I want to upload these to YouTube.
Mayday,
There we go, saying again. So I decided to redo it and make sure that I don't pause as much and can sort of complete what I'm saying, so I don't sort of sound like a broken record repeating what I'm saying and
the cartographer
choppy.
should be back online. We may be able to use it to track the ship's location. The Covenant. They found a way inside.
I'm also playing on normal because I was playing on heroic the last time, and I think that attributed to me not being able to complete my sentences because I was focusing on the game more than talking. So I'm on, as I said, I'm on normal now, so I don't have to think as much as I'm playing the game.
We can't give the Covenant access to the cartographer. Clear them out.
Ooh. Let's see if I can get an assassination here. I think they see me. Yep, they see me. Oh jeez, you backsmacked me.
The cartographer should be back online. We may be able to use it to track the ship's location. The Covenant. They found a way inside.
The cartographer, it's not simply just a static map, actually. On foreigner installations, cartographers are live feeds of the installation itself, using a multitude of technology to sort of get all the information needed. This technology was reverse engineered a bit for use on Infinity. Infinity itself doesn't necessarily have a cartographer for the ship. It may, I don't know for sure, but we do know that the scans Infinity is capable of doing are able to make holograms and visual depictions that are as accurate as foreigner cartographers. Oh, there's still the warrior elite. Where is he?
That's it. Now quick, to the cartographer.
Here we go.
The cartographer keeps acting like the transmission is coming from everywhere on the planet at once. It doesn't want to triangulate Infinity's signal. Oh wait, I got it.
That can't be right. Scan again.
We've already passed through one layer of the planet's surface. It's not crazy to think that someone else made it deeper inside than we did.
You mean the planet's hollow?
Let me see if I can figure out a way to